everyone! Welcome to my first tutorial video. All of us at some point when we're developing our skills as an artist has to learn how to draw certain things, and I have a lot of drawings from my past where I was trying out new techniques and trying to draw certain things, and this would be including different ways to draw a head, different ways to draw a full body, different ways to draw the arms or even the fingers or the feet. No one's perfect starting out. It takes a lot of practice, so I hope that encourages you guys, for those of you who are just starting out or for those of you who are still developing their techniques to draw certain things. There is no judgment here. I welcome every artist who enjoys painting, drawing, any sort of thing. So I want to be able to help you guys if you want to learn how to develop your technique. I'm also learning myself, so when I'm doing these videos, I'm going to be learning with you guys how to actually use these techniques or these mixed medias, and also what I've learned in my experience as an artist. I hope you guys enjoy. So let's get started. We're going to start off pretty easy and just do a sketch of how you would draw a head facing forward. What I do personally when I'm drawing a head, I draw like a circle like this, and then draw like semi-circle, elliptical shape for those of you who are math people. The way that the head is, it's not completely circular, it's not completely an oval, that being that our brain is situated up here, then we have the rest of our face. When you're drawing, you want to sort of try and resemble that mixed shape of the face. This is normally how I would start off. Now, since we have a general head, now we have to draw the face. What I was taught in school is our face is mostly symmetrical. What you want to do is you want to divide the face in 4 sections. But the 2 sections up here and down here, this is going to separate your upper half of your head to the lower part where your chin is and all that stuff. You're going to try to do a mirror image across each axis. And then right on this line, the one that cuts down from the top of your head to the chin of your mouth, you're going to draw a little line. This is where you're going to put your nose. Approximately. It's not going to be totally exact because, like I said, this is just a sketch of what you're going to do in terms of planning out this person's face. And then from there, if you observe people's faces, usually their eyes are at the distance of how big their nose is. So let's say I draw the nose like this. The eyes are going to start a little bit after. So we have our 4 quadrants. We have our line here that's going to indicate the nose. You can draw lines here of where the eyes would go, and that when you draw this line that you're cutting the face up into parts, you should probably draw a line above that line to indicate this is where you're going to draw your eyes. Your nose is going to be on the center line, and then your eyes are going to be across the x-axis. And then depending on how large the eyes you want, you can expand those lines, as well as like the nose area too. You can do the same thing. You can draw a section here to indicate how big you want the nose to be. Just make sure if you're going to scale certain parts of the face, if you want it to look realistic, this is not like if you want it to be cartoon. So now let's go to mapping out the eyes. So how I do this normally is I would indicate where the eye would start, like how I was doing before, or what I could do is I can draw just circles to indicate the pupils. So that is where the center of the eye is going to be. And then after I draw that circle, then I could draw the upper part of the eye like this, drawing over that circle, and then just ending it the same width as when I started it. You could also do it like this. You can have this part be longer and then just end it like that. So see, from here to here is not the same from here to here. There's different types of eyes people have. Some people have round eyes, some people have
more narrow eyes. Some people have almond-shaped eyes. I don't know every type of eye that people have, but basically you can pick and choose how big you want the eye to be. But normally, like I said, there's proportions to the face compared to the nose. So just like there's a certain width that the eye should be, there should be a certain distance that the pupils have to be with your mouth. The edges of your mouth correspond to where your pupils are. And since this is a sketch, you can obviously change where the lines are. So I'm gonna make this person's face a little longer since I kind of drew just a sketch of it. And obviously the mouth is a little too big for the face. We're gonna change that. And when you're drawing the chin, just like there's so many different types of eyes, there's different types of facial structures. So people can have sort of like a round shape, they can have a heart shape or diamond shape that's more sharp. It really just depends on what type of look you want this person to have. Usually I draw them more with like a heart shape sort of chin facial structure. So that's how I'm going to draw this person. Like I said, the way that you draw the mouth compared to the eyes is proportional. The edge of the lips should be where your pupils are, or should line up with your pupils. Then when I draw the lips, sometimes drawing lips is pretty hard because sometimes it looks too big, like how it is right now, or it can be too small. What you can do to make it look less like this is you can just expand the face. You can also change the nose and eyes so to bring them closer together to make it look like the mouth is smaller, because like the closer your eyes are, the closer or the smaller your nose is, the smaller the mouth is going to look compared to the rest of your face. Now that I've done this, I've expanded the face a little bit, we can start drawing the lips. I've seen some people do this heart-shaped trick where they draw a heart here, and then that's where the bottom of the lips is going to curve from, and this is where the top of the lips is going to be. That's a fine trick. I don't see a problem with that. However, for my experience, I'm just gonna redraw this. For my experience, what you can do is you can draw like a long stretched out semicircle and sort of just like smooth it out a little bit, and then you could draw another semicircle like this. Yes, the lips are going to look a little big. However, you can always trace over and kind of bring the lips less towards the edge of the lips. You have some space here that is not occupied by your lips sometimes. Some people, it goes all the way towards here, where your mouth ends. You can make the top of the lips more defined by doing two little bumps at the top, like that. It just really depends on the type of lips. I keep mentioning there's different types of faces, different types of eyes, different types of, well, I'm gonna go over the different types of noses, but there's also different types of mouths that people have, because some people, they'll have like big lips, or some people have very thin lips, or some people have very full lips. Normally when you're drawing lips, your nose should have like a little space from where your lips are. Some other things about lips is that you can, like I did here, you can make the top lip look bigger compared to the bottom lip, or you can make the bottom lip look more full than the top lip. Usually people prefer the other way around, so I draw the top lip like this. The bottom lip then looks like this. In some ways, I guess more natural. It really depends on what you are looking for. So now let's move on to the nose. So the nose, like I said, has to be a certain width between the eyes, some point between the mouth. So the nose has been the most tough part of the face that I've encountered through my practice of drawing. It's a pain in the butt, but once you sort of get it, you'll be able to understand, okay, this is how I can make the nose look less weird. The way that I draw my nose is like this, where I have a little, that part before the nostrils that defines like the front of your nose. And then I draw 2 little dots to indicate the nostrils. Because if you draw the circles too defined, let's say I draw over here a nose. If you draw the circles like this, it's gonna look a little not as natural. I mean, unless you have an upturned nose. Your nostrils don't really show too much. You can see them. Obviously, right here, you can see that there are nostrils, but they're not as defined as like here, where it feels like you are looking somewhat up into the nose. You should try to draw the nostrils discreetly, implying that they're there, and not actually trying to define them. That's all I'm gonna really say about the nostril part, but there are different types of noses, and that all depends on the shape of the nostrils and the shape of this bump. Let's say I try to draw this pointy nose from straight forward, because from here it's from the side. So let's say I have a pointy nose that I'm drawing. Like I said, it's either from drawing the nostrils differently. So this time I kind of did like an L curve shape and then a V shape for the middle part of the nose. When you're drawing, try to notice how the shape of the nose looks like in terms of the part of the nose where the nostrils are, as well as like the nostrils themselves. If you wanted to get fancy, indicate where the top of the nose is by drawing like a little curve on top. But not like this, because unless you want the nose to look very chubby, then okay, you can do that. But usually I do it as like a subtle indication that that's the top of the nose. So now we have most of the face. Let's draw the eyebrows. Eyebrows, you kind of just want to like start at maybe where the nose would end. So like if I were to draw a line here and here, then the eyebrow should like start right here. And then I would just draw lines. Sometimes I'll like trace out where I want the eyebrow to go. So like if I want it to be like that or like this, I'll just use that to indicate that's the bottom of the brow. And that's where I'm gonna start my strokes from. So like this. You wanna get like more blurred out towards the end and less defined. If you want like in this case it looks bushy, but you can kind of smooth it out by like blending it with your pencil. But if you want more of a subtle eyebrow, you can just do this where like you make it thinner and then just going along the line and connecting it together. So it looks more kind of, you know how women go for eyebrow waxing? You can make it look like that, whereas this one's more of a bushy brow. And then if you want to make like facial expressions, you would obviously have your eye, and then if you want a surprised expression, the eyebrows are going to lift up like that. The front of the eyebrow is going to be away from the beginning of the eye. Like that's the back of the eye, this is the front of the eye. You want your eyebrow to curve like that. And then if you want like an angry expression, you're going to bring the eyebrow closer and it's going to go away from the back of the eye. You can see when it's like, oh, surprised or curious, the back of the eyebrow is closer to the back of the eye. Whereas if the person's angry or frustrated, the eyebrow is going to tilt the other way. So it's going to be closer to the front of the eye and away from the back of the eye. So you would just like adjust how the eyebrow looks. Okay, so now we have most of our face. What I like to do is draw the eyelashes like this, not too defined strokes at the corner of the eye, and then a little bit at the bottom too. I mean, we didn't really draw the lower lid be like this, that it would connect to this bottom line that we drew in the beginning, and then going like along the line towards the beginning of the eye. Like that. Now we have our eyes done. If you want to fill in the eyes, that's fine too. You can indicate that there's a pupil there by drawing like a darker part of the eye, like this, and then lightly going into the whole pupil. Now let's go on to the ears. So the ears typically go from the beginning of the eye, so like right here, all the way towards your mouth. Should look like this. So that's how big your ears should be. Obviously, if you don't want to show that the ears are that big, you would like cover it up with hair or try to hide that they are that big. But if you observe people's faces, that is how big our ears are compared to the rest of our face. I mean, from the front view, you can't really see your ears. So in this case, I kind of drew them a little forward facing because I just wanted to show the proportion of the ears to the rest of our face. But basically, what our ears would normally look like is like a line. It would look like this. It would not be as defined as I made it to be. And then you would cover it with hair. We have hair, and if it is a bald person, then you would see their ear more because there's nothing covering it. But from the front view, you would not really see too much of the ears unless you have ears that are facing forward. This is how your ears would look like to the rest of your face. From here, you can sculpt the ears in whatever way you want. If you want to make them a certain way, you would have to reference whatever image you're using. Ears from the front are not really that hard to draw because it's not really noticeable like your eyes and your nose and your mouth. It wouldn't be that much of an issue to draw your ears from a forward-facing position. So for the hair, usually I just draw lines. So like this, to indicate that there are strands of hair. When you're drawing faces, there's space between your eyebrows and the top of your head where your hairline starts. There should be space at the top of your forehead. Oh, I almost forgot. Down here towards your chin, make sure there's a little space so that you can draw kind of like a chin bump. You don't have to draw the chin bump, but you do have some sort of indication where our chin starts and where our lips end. So just make sure to have that space in between the bottom of your lips to where your chin is. So some people, when they draw, what they like to do is they draw these lines to indicate a definition in the face. It is a more natural look. It makes you look older, more mature. I don't particularly draw those lines unless I feel like it's necessary. But if you want to, you can. If you want to make the eyes look more attractive or more defined, then what I would suggest is that you would draw a line right where the eye starts and then toward the lashes. It would get covered by the lashes. That's where your eyelid starts. And some people don't have that. So if you're drawing someone that doesn't have that, that's okay. Some people have like hooded eyelids, so their eyelids don't even show up. I've never really drawn someone without like an indication that they have an eyelid, but I think like you can just leave it as it was. And then you can add more definition to the lashes by making the lashes darker, more lush, maybe a little bigger. If you wanted to have the eyes pop out more. Oh, there is one more thing that I almost forgot. If you want to make someone's face look more defined, have cheekbones, what I suggest is you do like a subtle shadow where it's like this to indicate that they have defined cheekbones, and it gives the face a little bit of definition. Before it looked kind of flat, but once I added the cheekbones, it looks like it has more 3D shape. So if you want to like do that, you can do that. It really just depends on what you're looking for. So I hope that helps. I'll be doing more tutorials on other things. I feel like for my next video, I will do like a sideways and up or down looking face, because when you're drawing like a straight view of the face, it's a lot easier. But when you're drawing like on the side, especially from an angle, that's a lot more difficult. I hope you guys liked my video, and thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. Comment down below if you want like any commissions, or if you have any suggestions for my next video, or if you just feel like sharing your feedback and ideas about my video, please feel free. I really would love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much.